Hi guys, it's Ashley, the Distracted Stitcher, back with Flosstube number 4. If you are a returning viewer, I want to say thank you for coming back, and if you are new here, then welcome. I hope you find something that you like and that you hit subscribe. I apologise for the glare. As you can see, I'm still on my sofa like I was in the last video, so I have a light up here, 2 windows here which have the curtain shut, but the light is still shining through. It is, I'm not sure on the date, 2 seconds. It's the 8th of July, it's 11 o'clock in the morning, so it's pretty bright outside. My last Flosstube, I had said I was going to be 2 weeks, I was going to be bi-weekly, I would get this film before I went on holiday from work. Yeah, that didn't happen. I had also said in my last video that I was pushing for a finish on my Mirabilia, the Snow Queen. And safe to say, I got the finish, but it was all I worked on for 2, maybe 3 weeks. So I basically had nothing to show. So I didn't really want to film a video, and then since then I haven't really worked on that many projects, but I do have actual progress to show. So I've mainly worked on one project. I've been working on that for 8 days and I have managed to get a substantial amount of progress. I have, however, decided that I'm probably not going to count stitches. So while I will count them, it's not my priority. So I'm not going to sit here today and say, well, I've done 3,000 stitches. It's not really how I'm finding it enjoyable right now. I'm just more a case of, I've stitched. Look how much progress you can see. I'm going to apologise for playing with my hair. I'm going to probably continue to do this the entire video. It's something I do a lot. It's something I don't realise I'm doing most of the time, but obviously now that I'm looking at myself in a camera, I can see how annoying it is. I'm going to try not to. So yeah, my last Flosstube was meant to be filmed 2 weeks ago, if not more, and I didn't get around to it. So I went on annual leave on the 22nd of June. So I went on holiday then. But before that, it was crazy. Work was crazy. There was so much going on. There was wrong paperwork, staff not turning up, staff leaving, staff quitting. We're not quite sure what happened. We had one staff member who was actually a really good friend of mine. She left for a new job placement, so I'm really happy for her, and she seems to be doing really well. I've seen her since. And then within a week, we had a guy, randomly, he was one of the managers. He randomly just left his notice at the end of a shift and decided he wasn't coming back, so he left all of his stuff, and it was just before I went on onto my holidays. So he was meant to be covering the 2 nights where we didn't have a night porter, because obviously the guy that I work with only does 5 shifts, and then when he's on holiday I do 5 shifts, so there's still 2 days a week we need somebody to cover. He was meant to be covering that, and he decided that he was going to randomly hand his notice in and left everybody basically in the lurch, because nobody had any clue what they were doing, because nobody, like, I think at this point we had 2 managers left, maybe 3. We've got a trainee, a part-time one who, when September comes, we're all really excited for her to go back to just being reception once every 2 weeks, because she's not a very nice person. And then we've got the operations manager and the regular duty manager. So we didn't really have much staff. Like, our staff turnover right now, it's that point of the year where, like, people are getting new jobs, so our staff turnover is quite, like, bad. It's not necessarily, like, it's a great place to work, but we hire a lot of young people, and no offense to young people, I mean, I'm not the oldest person, but we hire teenagers who have no work ethics or ability to turn up for their shift. And I feel like sometimes whoever's doing the hiring process needs to, you know, background check these people a bit more, because our staff turnover is not great. I have been at my work now for 1 year and 6 months, and I'm one of the longest standing members of staff, and I've been there longer than every single manager by a period of 5 months, which is not good, I suppose, but it does mean that I know what I'm talking about, so when they start to tell you things and you know it's not right, you can correct them, which is quite nice. So yeah, work got crazy. I was so busy, and we had weddings, and then we had funerals in between the weddings, and then we had more weddings, and then I had a wedding where we had put the chair covers on, and I'd said to the guy I work with, I was like, don't worry about setting the tables, I'll do that tomorrow night. let's just make sure the furniture's in the right place and we've got, you know, the sheets on the table. I came back in the next night, and the wedding from the day before had taken their stuff out of the room, which that's fine, but they had also managed to trash the furniture that was in the room, so I had to go in and take the Hoover, so take the head off the Hoover and stand and hoover up these tiny little leaves that were on top of this table skirt, and obviously these are made of polyester, so they are sticking, and I must have spent half an hour hoovering up leaves, tiny little silly leaves, because they just decided that they were going to leave everything everywhere. And then we had customers and events. It was just so much going on that I only really had time to work on one project. So I've not really bought much, and I've not really done anything in terms of like massive, like I've not worked on 12 projects. I think I've worked on maybe 5. And then obviously I've went on to my holidays, and it was supposed to be a really nice, let's get the house sorted, as in rearrange the rooms, you know, get out the stuff that we don't need. So we've had the guy come out that I pay, he's a friend, he comes to cut the grass outside, and now Jordan's going to remodel the garden. So we got the guy to come out and just do the once over of the grass, which he does every year. He's a really good friend. So he's offered to take some of our old furniture to the skip, so that's really nice. But we had planned this really chill 2-week, and we did not get a chill 2 weeks. So the first 2 weeks that I was on holiday, we went to Edinburgh and we went to the zoo, and we had a great day. We left the house at 8:30 and we got back at 8:30 at night, and we excuse me, we are right at the border. We're 15 minutes from the border between Scotland and England. So we are about as southwest as you can get. We literally are southwest Scotland. So we went to Lockerbie, which is 20 minutes on a bus, so 25 minutes. So we went to Lockerbie, we got the train from Lockerbie to Edinburgh, which was great because we were planning on doing it. So like if you cross the border to Carlisle, which is our nearest city, you can get the train from there, and obviously the timings for that is easier for us. So like if we go to Carlisle and come home, we can just walk from town home, and we do that all the time. It's a 3-mile walk, but it takes an hour and it's a lovely walk. But we realised that the train fare was going to be double. Like I think it was going to be £130 to do 2 returns to Edinburgh from Carlisle, whereas if we went from Lockerbie, it was going to be I think it worked out at £50, £49 something for the 2 of us. So we saved a lot of money. So for the price of the train tickets from Carlisle to Edinburgh, we had managed to get to Edinburgh, and we had also managed to pay for our zoo tickets as well. So we had a really good day at the zoo. We spent a good few hours there. We got loads of pictures. We had great fun. We had a lot of laughs. I think we had seen everything. We saw the koala bears, which was my nan's favourite animal. They were the ones that we really wanted to see. And then, so we got loads of pictures. We had a really nice day there. We went to the gift shop. We got a koala plushie and a gorilla plushie because Jordan's favourite animal is a gorilla. We got my sister a birthday present because she's also into koalas, because obviously we lost my nan and that's kind of how we remember her, is with koalas. And we got some Edinburgh Rock, which I had said a couple of weeks ago that I really wanted to get some because I really like it. Which is I don't know, it's very hard to describe Edinburgh Rock because Rock, the sweetie, is normally a hard-boiled like tube, and you bite it, it's hard, and it's basically just hard-boiled sugar. Whereas Edinburgh Rock's softer and is more like powder, and it's very hard to explain, but if you Google it, it's beautiful. So we got some of that. I apologise for the dog that's outside. Everybody in my area of this little village that we live in has dogs, so it must just be a couple of people walking about, so I apologise for that. So we had a great day at Edinburgh Zoo. We came out of the zoo, went into town, and we kind of just had like a mooch. So we just went and had a look through like little stores, and we went to Taco Bell and KFC. So we got a couple of tacos, went to KFC, got some chicken, and then we came home, and it was a great day. We went and seen Jordan's best friend in Lockerbie while we waited for our lift home, and it was great. It was great fun. Yesterday we spent 3 hours dismantling a bed to put the bed together in a different section of the room, just because it had a couple of loose screws. So we've remodeled our whole bedroom and now it feels like a whole new room. And then we went in with the plan of, this bedroom's not going to take very long, we just need to get in, put the clothes away, move the bed, move the drawers, and we're finished. No, the Hoover decided that it needed to be completely taken apart. So our vacuum was completely dismantled and put back together, and the bed also was completely dismantled and put back together. I have never been so happy on a Sunday night to sit down and eat sausage mashed potato. I was so happy to sit down and just have a big plate of just simple food, because we started the bedroom at 3 o'clock and we ate dinner at about 9. So it was a very long day, and then Jordan's went back to work today, so I have today, tomorrow on my own. I think Jordan might be off tomorrow, we're not sure. I'm off Wednesday. I've got the occupational therapist for my dislocated bone in my wrist, which means I can't bear weight on it at all. I can stitch, but it does start to hurt after a little while. So we're kind of dealing with all of that. So beading, I'm currently beading my memorabilia. And the problem is, because I don't have a frame that's big enough for my large memorabilias, I stitch my Nora Corbetts in the Nurge hook that they're in, beads and everything. I can't do that with the memorabilia because I don't have anything big enough. So my hand has been like clamping, and because I'm left-handed, it's not ideal, because I hold with this and so with my right hand, because, excuse me, I've essentially had to train myself to be right-handed, because I dislocated my thumb when I was 13 and it never went back into place. So that's very much a story for a different time. So today I'm going to show you, I've got 2 finishes. One is a prior finish that I found when I was sorting through some stuff, and one is a finish that I had from the other week. It's nothing big, it's nothing fancy. I have a memorabilia finish which is half beaded. I've done around about half of the beads, and I've got a couple of whips. So I'm going to start with my 2 finishes. So the one that I found when I was tidying up some of my stash is a Tatty Teddy, and this is Time for Tea, I think is what it's called. And he looks like this. He's really cute, he's really small. And I think, I finished him quite a while ago, and I don't know why he hasn't been put with my other finishes, but he is stitched fully from the kit. So he's 14 count Ada. I should think he may be 16 count. And he's stitched fully with anchor threads, because that's what Tatty Teddy is stitched with. And my second finish is a previous whip, is a Mill Hill. This is my pad. I'm trying to get that to focus, it doesn't want to. So this is a little Mill Hill beaded kit that I bought at the No-Bam retreat last October, and he's actually quite big. Like, he's the biggest one that I have finished. I did have to make an adjustment. So this little bead that's in the middle, he was meant to be blue, and for some reason when I came to stitch my frog, I couldn't find it. I knew I had it, couldn't find it. So we're not sure if it's maybe been picked up with some trash, or maybe it's fell into something, but we're not sure where it's gone. So I went through my bead storage and I luckily had this one, which is green. And I'm not fussed, I'm not overly fussed that it is green. So I got him all stitched up and I got that finished. So that is my pad. I've just remembered I have another finish, so I'm gonna go get that. My last finish for this 32-day period, I really need to get better and get into a routine of filming videos. So my last finish is my Fairy Garden. This is also by Mill Hill, but this is a button and beads kit. I will put close-ups of all of my finishes into the video so you can actually see it up close, because for some reason I can't get this to focus. when I put it up close. So this is the Button and Beads Fairy Garden Kit, which I had seen somebody else on YouTube stitching, and she had said that she had found it quite difficult, so I wanted to see what was difficult, picked it up, and in Jordan's words, I've not heard one complaint about this from you. I haven't complained about this at all. The only complaint I did have was when I opened my kit, I had 2 beads missing. So one of the little beads, because the beads come pre-organised in little zippy bags. The sparkle kind of catches on that. They come in little zip bags that are about this big, and they organise them, so sometimes there'll be 2 colours together, but they'll be vastly different. So the ones I was missing were the ones that are in here, these peach ones, and then the big green ones that are up in the tree. Give me 1 second, I'm going to adjust the lighting. I have adjusted the lighting slightly, so we may be able to see this slightly better. It may mean the glare is a bit worse on my glasses, but there's not really much I can do because I can't see without them. So I need to wear them. I just haven't set up a stitching video space yet. So my fairy garden, I was missing these beads, which are the peach ones, and then these big green ones, which are in the tree. And I emailed Witchell, or Mill, I can't remember which it was, the company that produces them. If you email them and you just say, excuse me, I have purchased this and I'm missing a bead. I had to do this last year with my Ophelia. So my Ophelia, which is my my Mirabilia, I bought the bead packet and it was missing one of the packets of beads because it was meant to have 2 packets, and in the embellishment pack they'd only put 1. So I emailed Witchell and just said, you know, it's missing this packet of beads, and they sent them out to me. No bother at all, which was really great. And now I have that, so I can stitch my Ophelia. And the same with this, I emailed them and they sent me them out. They just asked for the little code that's written on the inside of the pattern, and once you've supplied that, then they send you out your beads. So that was my other finish. So this is, I'll put it against this. This is 4,900 stitches and beads combined. So altogether it's 4,900 stitches, 49 and some change. So it's basically 5,000. It's 73 stitches by 73 stitches, which the detail that you can get from that is quite impressive, to be completely honest. I really, really love this. I cannot wait to stitch another Button and Beads. I have a few more. They're sitting. I have one started. One started. So I have 4 Button and Beads kits to stitch in my collection now. Actually, I don't think one's a Button and Beads. I think it's the mouse. It's a Christmas mouse holding a cheese wrapped up as a present. He doesn't have a bead on him, so he's just a millhill, but a larger one. And I have 3 other Button and Beads, and then I also have 2 regular little millhills like the frog. So I'm gonna get them stitched up so I can purchase some more. But I really enjoy stitching these. They're really quick and simple, and as Jordan said, he hasn't heard one complaint about that project from me at all. So on that note, moving on to a project he has heard many complaints about. We have my Snow Queen. So Snow Queen is fully finished. I will insert a video of close-up of this. Obviously the close-up is without beads, and then I'll put a close-up of the beads as well that I have done. So this, it's been rolled up into like a tube, so this is completely finished now. I say completely finished. This stitching is completely finished. So the reindeer, all the beads are on that reindeer. My logic was, I really, really enjoyed stitching the Queen. Her dress, not so much. I stitched her faster than I stitched the reindeer. Once I got into that reindeer, it dragged. I really, really struggled with the reindeer. Not sure what it was about him. I have no idea. But I really struggled with him. I'm trying to roll this up so I can show the reindeer. So if I cover the Snow Queen by rolling him into a tube. So I figured that if I stitched the reindeer last and I really struggled with it, the best plan would probably be to bead the reindeer first. So that is exactly what I've done. So antlers all the way down, and he really sparkles. Trying to fit these. I didn't know how to stitch them on, these teardrops, so I went onto the Facebook group and I checked, that really sparkles, I checked how other people had been stitching their teardrops, and somebody had said to do it horizontally, so have the hole going this way, go right through, and I tried that, and that seems to be the best method. So I've been beading this with YSL invisible thread, the one that is recommended on Mirabilia products. So I've used that. I've been using all the called for beads, so I have everything for this in here because I know for a fact that there was missing stitches in the reindeer. I had to put 5 stitches in hand. So I've got all my thread in here, and then my invisible thread, which so my invisible thread, the sticker has came off the bottom. So this is just regular, like the white label stickers that you get. I just stuck one on the bottom, cut around it, and that is the bottom of my invisible thread. This has so far done all of my Mirabilia, so about 6 of them. This is actually my second one because my first one got covered in tomato sauce. It fell off my table. It's a bit of a long story. I have my tacky bill, which I've actually ordered 2 more of these. I have a whole load of haul, which will be by the end of the month I will have it. So I've got an order from Hawkins Hobbies, an order from Pain Free Crafts, and 2 orders from Arnie's Mixed Bag. However, one of them is just for a tacky bill. So this just has all my beads inside, and I've just answered my own question of where is my needle. I had to order more tacky bills because, as you can see, that is absolutely covered in lint, just lint. So I just put a couple of each of the beads on there. I only need 2 more of this one, which is why there is only 2 of that. I have my needle, which I have destroyed because it's tiny. All of the colour is coming off it. It's a pony needle. I got some off Sarah at Pain Free Crafts. I thought I would try them and see if they work for my full coverage. But because I have quite large hands, they're what Jordan calls European worker hands, because I am German Polish heritage. So my great granddad is German, and the only reason I'm essentially not German is because of World War II. My great granddad moved over here. He married a Scottish woman from Glasgow, and his mum was actually Polish. And it's funny, Jordan cracks jokes all the time that I have European worker hands because I have really big hands. I go to work and the women at work put their hands up against mine and they come to here. My mum and my sister, who are both Scottish English, and they come to about here. Their hands are so small. I have man hands. So I can't use the Pony 28s for stitching full coverage. I just feel like the needle doesn't feel secure. I'm not really a fan of it. So I'm just using, on the Pain Free Crafts website, there was the option to get like a tube of gold eye needles. So I just got a tube of them. They're size 28. For my regular Mirabilia stitching, I use a gold eyed 26. And I don't know what I've done with it. I'm not sure. I have a needle tray. It might be in here with my train project. Yes. I love that project bag. It has so much stuff in it. Also, so does this. Oh, it's not. I must have taken it out. I have no idea where I've put it then. I have a little needle tray that I got from Denkai Designs last year at the Nobam retreat, and I keep all my size 26 needles in there for my Mirabilias, because I'm trying out the method of, instead of having 10 half-used needles, because obviously the longer you use a needle, the more it burns out, I'm trying to just use one needle. So I have like loads of like spare needles everywhere. And then for this, I just have my beads in these. So I've got the little storage boxes these come in. I think it holds 72. I have already filled it 1.5 with leftover beads, and then I just have the number written on the top. So I just have a collection of them in the bottom of this project bag, I've got my last teardrop crystal, which is for her earring, and I've got my key, which essentially, the way that I bead to save myself having to check numbers all the time, excuse the tractor that has just drove past, excessively noisily. Instead of having to read numbers all the time, next to the number I've just wrote, it's brown, pink, dark blue, white, silver, blue. And if I've got two the same, so there's large beads on the reindeer and there's small beads and they're the same color. So I've just wrote brown, big brown, and I just find it so much easier that you start to remember the symbol with the color rather than the symbol with the number. I just find that a lot easier. I don't know if that's because I'm an English student and words make much more sense to me, but trying to associate the numbers with the key, it doesn't work for me. Sometimes even with my stitching method, I will go through and assign, obviously on a small project or memorabilia, I will assign the numbers in order, the alphabet, and then I have two of these which have the alphabet on them instead of numbers. These are really useful. I found two of these on eBay from a seller. They've got a thread cutter in the top, and then they obviously have lots and lots of space for your thread. You can measure your thread on here, but they just have the alphabet. Obviously on the other side there is like tape, so you could write numbers or symbols or however. I just find sometimes just using the letter, that way when I'm looking at it I'm thinking, right, okay, so it's color A, instead of thinking, oh, it's 333. I don't feel that color. I don't know why I get like that, but sometimes I do. I think I'm not really in the mood to stitch like a big boring brown, whereas if I look at it and just go, right, well, it's color D, okay, so it's color D, I'll just pick it up. It removes thought, and I think that helps a little bit. So I'll insert a video of up close of Snow Queen so you can see exactly what she looks like up close, because she is beautiful. And by my next video I should have all the beads on my queen as well. So the other thing I wanted to mention was this is nearly all Magnifica beads. So I got this embellishment pack last June, and a lot of these are Magnifica beads. So I don't know if you can really tell, but these are the regular seed beads, and I've put them on with a half stitch, like 2 half stitches, so both go in the same direction, so they sit on an angle. Whereas with the Magnifica beads, I've been putting them on with a cross, and I find that not only do they sit perfectly, because there is big blocks of them, like down here there's blocks of them, up here there's blocks of them, obviously the chains, things like that, and sitting in these I've been putting them straight as well, and it is, I don't think that's focused, it's a bit better. I've been putting the Magnifica beads on with a cross. I figured that it looks better like that. And I get that it's not for everybody. I've never done it before. There's been a couple of beads in Mermaid of the Pearls. Every bead that was in her foam, I did straight, so it's with a full cross, and that was 1, so you could fit everything in, and 2, because it looks like it's falling. And then with my Cathedral Woods Goddess, I did the same with her necklace. When you stitch these are Mill Hill, they're made by Mill Hill. Every time you get a petite bead, which is, I think it's Magnifica, it is a cross. They tell you to put it on with a cross, and it's the seed beads, and anything bigger they tell you to put the half cross. So obviously the treasures and things, depending on the treasure. One thing I did want to mention actually was when I was stitching this guy, these blue beads down here, they sent me over the edge. I was using a size 28 tiny petite needle, and I've used it for all the Magnificas on reindeer. Never an issue. The blue beads in the bottom, they were absolute duds, because you'd pick up, out of every 3 beads, 2 would be bad and 1 would be good. The needle wouldn't go through, and at one point I actually resorted to just using my regular beading needle, which is the smallest needle I've got, and I've never had a problem with Magnificas before. I've stitched lots of Magnificas. Every petite bead that I stitched on this was stitched with a 28. All the other 2 colours on this that were petites, stitched with a 28. That 1 bead, duds. I went and spoke to Sarah at Pain Free Crafts to see her new shop, because she's moved up the street to a new location so she can have more space. So I went and seen her, and Sarah thought maybe it was because I was using a 28 needle, like that probably wouldn't work for the Magnifica, which I tried to try and explain to Sarah. Sarah doesn't do a lot of beadwork. She's mostly full cross stitch or tent stitch. And I'd said to Sarah, like, look, there's no way it's my needle. This is the smallest needle in my collection. I've used a beading needle, which is what they actually provide you in the kits. And I just prefer to use the 28 because it's got a wider eye. Sometimes I'm in the mood for a beading needle, sometimes I'm not. And it just was not working. Flat out was refusing to, like, the beads weren't going through. I eventually had to resort to just using 1 thread and stitching sometimes twice. Not fun. Do not wish to repeat that experience. But yeah, I finished my Snow Queen. So I started my Snow Queen. I officially picked it up as a whip. So I'd put in some stitches to start it. When I picked it up, must have been the end of February, right at the beginning of March. It didn't look like anything. I will put in like a before and after of what it looked like when I picked it up as a whip. To make it a whip, sorry. And then what obviously it looks like now. And I think I'd maybe done 1,000 stitches. So it's been really nice to see this one come alive. It's my first proper finish of the year. I had finished my, I forgot what she's called. Temptress of the Cursed Sea by Bella Filipina. I had finished that just the beginning of the year, but because I had started it in October, November time, I didn't count it because 90% of the work was done last year, not this year. So this is my first big finish of the year. Hopefully it will not be the last. So my second project that I worked on, so obviously we went to Edinburgh. When I was on the train, I took this. So this is a little project bag I got from Shell's Patch on Facebook. I asked her for a project bag. I can't remember what I asked for. But she had to play around and she made this because I am a proud Slytherin. I have been a fan of Harry Potter my whole life. I found it when I was 10. I'm now 27. And inside it has little purple, these are like the happiest little spiders, which I have like a severe case of arachnophobia, which my OCD makes worse. And we're trying to find ways through life where you severely, like it'll kill me. I had a spider land on me at work. It fell out of a pint glass and it landed on my leg, and I was on my own. It was 3 o'clock in the morning, and I had a panic attack at work, and I had to go and take myself to the bathroom for 10 minutes. It is awful, and everybody's just like, no, face your fears, face your fears, face your fears. And I'm like, I'm not going to make myself have panic attacks just to get over fear of spiders. It doesn't make any sense to me. But the cute ones on this bag. So when we were on the train to Edinburgh, I didn't have much time to stitch. Probably would have if I stopped talking so much. But I was trying to finish Downton Abbey. I've just finished Downton Abbey and restarted Grey's Anatomy. When I first started watching Grey's Anatomy, it was just as me and Jordan got together. So Jordan missed like the first 5 to 6 seasons. So it wasn't until season 7, season 8 plus, that Jordan had actually paid any attention to it. And then he didn't move in until March. And by March, I'd basically finished Grey's Anatomy and he hadn't seen most of it. So I'm rewatching it. And we're currently on season 3, which is starting to get to the good stuff because my favourite characters just came and just, you know, made his debut. And it's so nice watching it back because you actually pick up on characters' red flags, shall we say, really quickly. Whereas before you kind of ignore them because you want this character to be good and you don't want to make a judgment, whereas now you're like, no, that's a big red flag. I was watching Downton Abbey on the train and I pulled out this guy to stitch. I took him with me because he's plastic. He is plastic stitching. He's also not very complicated. There's barely anything to this. Oh, I'm not sure what is going on, so we're just going to leave him on there and I will figure this out later. So I didn't get much done. I've done about 100 stitches or so, but I've made a start on the presents at the top and I'm just working the top symbol down like I do with most projects. So I'm hoping I can get this one finished. I have finished one from this set of ornaments and I want to stitch the rest of them. However, there is an elf. There's a little Christmas elf in this collection. I can find every other pattern, I can find every other project, cannot find the elf. And I am so annoyed because I think the elf is really cute and I really want the elf, but I cannot find him. So that was my train project. It's not much, it's barely 100 stitches, but it's a project and I worked on it and I'm just happy I did. So I only actually have 2 projects left. I have my Samurai by Dimensions, which, to be fair, the amount of work I've done on him is pitiful. So this is my Samurai. He will look like this when he's finished. It's a terrible picture. I don't know if that helps. Yeah, it doesn't want to focus. I will put in a picture of what he will look like when he's finished. And this is what I have done so far. So I have added in stitching around his neck, added in the little bit of stitching that was missing in his hair, finished his face, and I've done all the line work. So now my Samurai has a face and I think it looks really good. Obviously, if you get up close to it, it doesn't look as good. It looks a little weird because, as you can probably see, the back stitch goes over some of his face, which is slightly strange, but I've just followed the pattern and that is exactly what the pattern says. This little needle minder is from Cross Stitch Bunny. Sorry, I thought I had a needle thread in it. I do. It's here. I dropped it. I was very confused. I knew there was a needle because I'd only just fixed it when I got all my stuff together for filming this video. What has happened to the lighting in this room? So I've done not very much on Samurai, but something's better than nothing. But you'll see why when you see my next project, because my next project has got such amount of work done that I'm happy because I've spent most of my time on this project, which is still on my stand. So I had said after, sorry, I have my light on because I was working on this before I came to film this video, but I thought if I film this video now, at least it's done, because I know what I'm like. I don't film it now. I'm not filming it at all. I think Jordan's off work tomorrow, so I won't be able to film that either, and I have an appointment on Wednesday. So this is the project bag for my next project. I'm not sure what's going on with the light. Yeah, it's a bit strange. It was fine, now it's not. Give me a second. That appears to be better. So this next project is my new Mirabilia, my new Fancy Lady. Necessarily doesn't have to be a Mirabilia, it could just be a Fancy Lady, but this time it's a Mirabilia, and it is my Blooming Bride. This is Mirabilia 18. This is from 1996, so it's 1 year older than I am, and she is glorious. So I have everything I need for her in this project bag that I got at the retreat last year as part of my mystery box. She is stunning. So I've got my threads and again loads of treasures for this design. I'm not sure how fun that's going to be to stitch. So there's teardrops and there's the little like diamond shaped ones, and then I know that there's also more teardrops. There's a silk, not quite sure what's going on with that silk. There's also flowers, small purple iridescent style flowers, and then there's lots of beads. And as you can tell, this was 2 packets, and then there must have been some spares from another project that I stitched with them colours. So I have, and some people might think this is sacrilege because I know a lot of people don't use the original memorabilia patterns. I do. I paid £5 for this pattern. I got it in the local L&S to me. So I've currently got the cover photo, the description of her, the face, and then this one is just about telling you the back stitch instructions. Sorry, I was a bit confused. And then I've just got my pens that I've been using. So another tractor. This video today is going to be so noisy. I apologize so much. These are mild liners. They are Japanese highlighters or Korean or whatever. They have a marker on one side and a matching highlighter on the other, but the good thing with these is that they're not neon. They don't tend to bleed through or, you know, make a big catastrophic mess. So I've got my two colours. This one is hanging on for dear life. It doesn't want to die, but it is practically dead. It's my favourite colour, minus the grey one. This is my favourite. This is the lilac. I've used the green on my pattern. If I hold it over here, the green is what I had done prior to picking it up as a whip, and the purple is what I've done since. As you can see, quite a lot. So I use these for my projects because I just feel like the marker is great. It allows you to actually mark your pattern off really well without going outside the lines and going crazy. And I haven't made a working copy. As you can tell, I've got it wrapped on my clipboard. I don't fold it, I've like wrapped it so that I don't get creases. So I will put in a picture of what this one looked like previously and what it looks like now. So this is on a piece of fabric that I won last year from Chromatic Alchemy. It's called Erudus, and as you can tell, it's an opal. It's a 32 count linen, and it is just stunning. I have done all of this essentially since last week. I think we're looking at best part of 4,000 stitches I've added to this. I have never enjoyed stitching white more than I enjoy stitching this. This obviously has huge chunks of white in it, as you can tell. All down here is 451, 453 and white. And I have enjoyed this so much. I've enjoyed the confetti. I've enjoyed the big chunks of white. There's nothing in this I don't love. I've got my Denkai Designs needle minder and another Denkai Designs. This has got my snag nabbit. And then a couple of spare needles. My working needle is here. And I have thoroughly enjoyed this. I've put it in a Q-snap just because I've been enjoying it that way. Because the sections of her dress are quite large. So if I put it into, I had it in a nerd hoop, but I don't get as much estate, like real estate, fabric estate. I don't get enough fabric estate to allow myself to work on a big section. So currently I've worked across. Now her hand comes down here and I'm now going to work down. So there's a little bit left of this white section, which I'm going to finish today. And then I'm just going to work down and do like this big chunk of flowers. I'll get the picture. So all down this side is just flowers and flowers and flowers, and I'm so excited. I think that's going to be really good. Like fun to stitch that. I've been craving stitching this. I've been thinking about stitching this and thinking about stitching this and thinking about it some more, and it has been beautiful and I have enjoyed every stitch. Very, very much so. So this has 1 silk, 5 beads, and then it has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 packets of treasures. Now obviously I've combined some of the packets together because they're the same. And then for threads, it has 32 colours. So 32 colours, 17 packets of beads and a silk, and this is going to be simply stunning. This fabric is not showing up true to colour. Well, actually, it's not far off. It's a very grey toned navy, and it is slightly mottled. Hi, I'm back. My phone told me it was full of storage, and had no full of storage. It had no storage left, and I've been fiddling around with it. I've had to delete a bunch of stuff off my phone. What I've actually realised is that my phone is filming in 4K. So it's filming in a higher quality, which is not help because it won't focus when it goes up close, and I'm not sure why. But that's why. So I've showed you all my whips from the last 30 odd days. What is going on? So that is essentially all of the whips that I have to show. I do have some haul, and I have some haul that will be here by the end of the month. It was meant to be my birthday haul, however I'd said to Jordan, like, leave it and we'll get it the next time we go see Sarah, which will be the end of the month, because we go to see Sarah at my orthodontist appointments, which are every 6 weeks. But the way that my orthodontist appointment fell in June was slightly awkward, and it was right before we went to Edinburgh, and I'd rather have had the day in Edinburgh than have a pile of stitching stuff. As much as I love to stitch, I wanted to have the day out with Jordan because we haven't done something like that before, like had a proper like day away, just the two of us at all. So it was really nice. I've obviously went to see my family. My mum lives 2 minutes from my house, and I just thought, you know, there's more important things. I'll get my stitching stuff at the end of this month. So I've got an order coming from Hawkins Hobbies that includes my winning of Autumn Queen, and then I've got my stuff with Sarah, and I've got a small pile of haul. I'm here. One of these isn't haul, but it's definitely something that I'm looking at stitching. So when I went through my stuff, I found this bag, which, if you can read that, it says it's the silk from Magwayan, the Bella Filipina. So I've got my chart. It has no picture because my picture's in my photo album. I'm looking at, once I finished my bride, I want to stitch my Bliss Fairy. Now my Bliss Fairy's been sitting for so long, it just needs stitched. Like, I need to just get it out and find the love for it. So once I finish that, I'm going to reward myself with stitching Magwayan. I've got my silks, so I was working out, you know, costs and things for this. It's not as much as I thought it was going to be. So in my haul pile, I have got 3 Mirabilias and 2 Cricut Collection. So I've never bought a Cricut Collection. Oh, actually, I tell a lie, I bought one. Did I buy one? No. I can't remember. I can't remember if I've showed these. I don't think I have. So I've got this one, which is Wickety. So obviously this is the little witch. It also comes with the, it's called If a Mummy Were a Mitten. And I really loved this. I found it on eBay. Somebody was selling it, so I picked her up and I thought that would be good fun come October, because she's not extremely difficult. Like, she's quite a blocky pattern, so she shouldn't take too long. I say that, I get distracted, as we've seen. So hopefully I can get her stitched up and get her finished this Halloween. I never stitch Halloweeny things, but I also have this, which is also somewhat Halloween, and this is the Cricut Collection Autumn. I have the other ones of these, but I love Autumn. Autumn's my favourite, so Autumn probably will be the one that I stitch first. The list of colours is not huge, and hopefully I can get that stitched up and looking really pretty, especially with us kind of decorating the house, and we're talking about having a baby next year. So I want to have the house, what is this? I want to have the house decorated and feeling homey before we have a baby, because both me and Jordan are so excited to have a baby. It's why I mentioned in my last video that I want to lose weight. I want to try and be as healthy as I can before we have a baby. So on my birthday, I decided that I was going to draw the line. We had a really nice Chinese takeaway for my birthday meal, because it's my favourite food. I had lemon drizzle cake, which Jordan got me. He put banners up, put balloons up, he sung me happy birthday. I made a really nice day, just the two of us, on my actual birthday, because we went to Edinburgh on the Wednesday or the Thursday, and then we had my birthday on the Saturday, and it was really nice, and it was just really chill. We watched The Hobbit and I stitched, and we just had a really nice day. So I've said I want to lose weight. Now the plan is essentially to lose as much as I can before October, which is when we kind of wanted to try, stop not trying. So the plan is to lose as much as possible. So I do have a full coverage project, which I showed in my last video. It's called Grizz. I'll put a picture in of what that is going to look like. So for every £1 that I lose, I will do a certain amount of the pattern. I need to go and figure out what my numbers are for that and get that stitched. So it's been 1 week since my birthday. I'm currently down £1. So even though it might not sound a lot, £1 is £1. It's £1 that I'm down. So the plan is to keep losing weight and be able to fill up a full project and do that. So I'm trying to buy clothes and I'm trying not to buy as much stitching stuff. The plan is to obviously, look, I won't be working once we have a baby. We've worked that out between us. That was always my plan, was to be a stay-at-home mum. As in Jordan, that's what Jordan always wanted his life and family life to look like. So that's going to work for us, which in a sense means that for a couple of years I won't get as much stitching, but then to get that back, so it makes sense. So I decided that I was going to buy some Mirabilias. Because if anything, I can stitch Mirabilia quickly. So while I may not get full coverages finished when we have a baby, I will most definitely get Mirabilia finishes. So the ones that I have, I found these all on eBay. Somebody was selling them, so I purchased them all from eBay. 2 of them are out of print. I do not believe this one is out of print though. This is a Midsummer Night's Fairy, and this is Mirabilia Designs number 30. The amount of things this needs. Beads and treasures never worry me. I don't find beads and treasures to be a worry. But this is a list of metallic and metallic blends. I'm really excited to stitch this. I do not like the fabric that she is on though, so I need to go and have a hunt for something to put her on for when I do stitch her. So I think she's so pretty. She will be really sparkly, and everyone right now is stitching her. So cross stitch with Luda is stitching her. I believe Samantha the Hugo stitcher is either stitching or finished stitching. I can't remember, but either way she has done her or doing her. So I want to stitch her. So she is obviously Shakespeare inspired Midsummer Night's Fairy. I have Shakespeare's fairies, which is my absolute favourite of, like, it's the big ones that go sideways. The horizontal ones, I love her. I love them. And I have Ophelia already started, ready to go, because Hamlet is my favourite Shakespeare ever. So I obviously have Ophelia. But moving on to my next purchase, this one is definitely out of print. This one is also completely, I want to say it's unopened, but it does have a tear, but the seal is still shut, as is this sticker over the lap. But what I think the person has done is they have opened it this way, which I actually, what a great idea. So this is Shimmering Mermaid. This is Mirabilia Design number 71. And if I am not mistaken, this is out of print. I do believe this is one that is out of print. I'm just going to tap that back in. So I have fabric for her. No, I have fabric for South Seas. And I am thinking it needs to be different to South Seas. South Seas is very pink and green. So I'm putting her on Mists of Avalon by Sparklies. I need something very different for this one because this one is very purple, whereas South Seas isn't as purple. And my last one is completely out of print. Now, I have the sister for this, so I already have Damask Roses. Now, the packaging for this one's a little bit bashed up, but it's the original packaging. The pattern's perfectly fine, even though the person has marked off the back. So this is Garden Verses. So I'm thinking of stitching this on pale blue and then stitching Damask Roses on a really, really soft pink. There's one that I've seen from Picture This Plus, and I really like the colour of that one. I think it's called Sprite. So I think I might use that for Damask Roses and order a piece of that. And then I would stitch this, I'll see if they've got like a light blue so that I can have like the matching fabric. So I'm really excited to stitch this as well. It's just thread. Just thread. That doesn't mean anything. I have a lavender and lace in my bedroom. Currently, it's sitting there. Now the bedroom is actually like somewhere that we want to sit and things. So like if we wake up in the morning and we're having lying because it's our day off work, And then, you know, that's something that we like to do. We can actually sit in there now and I can stitch while Jordan reads comics and things. So Damask Roses, not Damask Roses, this is Garden Verses, Shimmering Mermaid and Midsummer Night's Fairy. I got all of these for £15 for the group on eBay. And I don't think I'm going to be buying much more stitching between now and October. I'm just going to be picking up my order from Sarah. I have a couple of things I need to buy for my mystery box for the retreat. And then I've got, when I buy for the retreat, I think there might be a couple of things that I also buy for myself. But I'm completely undecided. I'm trying not to buy anything before the retreat because I want to put money aside. However, I have just had some good news in regards to my wage from work, which is nice because for a few weeks there I was working 4 shifts and being paid for 3. So for 3 months I have felt a huge deduction. It's been £70, so we're looking at $100 to $120. Essentially it's a whole day's wage where it's been deducted off my wages, and I've been trying to get it sorted out, and finally I've got it sorted out. So now I'm back to having like a proper wage packet. I'm doing an extra shift this week, so I'm working Wednesday through Sunday because the guy that I work with is on annual leave. I had dinner with him the other day with his wife and Jordan, and we had a lovely dinner at work. We got, because where we work is a hotel, we get 40% off if we're not working, but for your birthday you get £50 in rewards points. So I went in and I had £100 because I had my 50 from last year, which I've only just got because none of my managers could get my card, my reward card done for some unknown reason. And I had £100 and me and Jordan both had a starter. So I had a tempura chicken and he had a haggis and black pudding tower. As Scottish people, haggis is elite food. It's not for everybody, and American haggis is not our haggis. It's missing its key ingredient. And I had the battered haddock and chips for my main, with Jordan having what did he have? A steak and more black pudding. He really enjoyed it. We didn't get dessert. We just weren't feeling it. Jordan had been quite ill for a week. He was severely ill to the point where he couldn't do anything. He didn't even play his Xbox. So it was another reason why I didn't get as much stitching done, because sometimes he just wanted to lie on the sofa. So I said, you know what, I'll put my stitching down, we'll just cuddle on the sofa and we'll watch some TV, we'll go lie in bed. What we've been doing the last couple of nights of my annual leave, probably do it tonight and tomorrow, my last 2 nights, is we've just been going to bed 9:30 sometimes, and bearing in mind we're 27 and 28, we've been going to bed and for 3 or 4 hours we're just watching Simpsons. So we've been really enjoying that. So hopefully over the next 2 weeks, it's not crazy because I've got 5 nights on this week. However, there's only 2 weddings, so I'm really thankful for that, because there's one on Friday and one on Saturday, and half of Friday's wedding's already been done. I'm going back to work with adjusted duties, as in there will be no table lifting for me, there will be no chair lifting, there will be no chair covers. Putting chair covers on, anybody who has never done it, you should be very grateful, because I went into that wedding a couple of weeks ago and they said, well, we don't want chair covers. 9 to 8 chair covers. It took me half an hour to take these off, and rocking the chair back and forth, like knocking them, made my hands swell up. So I'm quite glad that I'm going back with adjusted duties. Not sure how long that's going to be for. I've got my appointment on Wednesday, and hopefully that can get my wrist somewhat sorted. They were discussing surgery because there is a bone not in the right place and it's going to need a pin or a plate or both. Obviously that's not great because that is going to affect my stitching. So yeah, going back to work is going to affect my stitching, but I'm not on a rush to get anything finished. So I probably will be stitching on Grizz. I've got Grizz out, it just needs to be put in frame. I'll probably be stitching on a Mill Hill, like a buttons and beads kit, and I've got Chessie in the frame right now, which is a full coverage. I also want to plan to stitch on my supersize matte colour, so the plan is to get a good bit of stitching, and hopefully I probably won't film this Sunday, purely because I will have worked 5 nights in a row, like 4 nights in a row, and I'll be going back on Sunday night for another shift. It probably means I'm going to be dead to the world. I'm not going to want to stitch, I'm not going to want to basically do anything. I've just realised the camera is sitting slightly wrong, but hopefully I can get my dining room sorted so that next time I can sit back in my dining room and have my camera set up on the table. Well, it's not my camera, it's my phone, but hopefully I can get it set back up on the dining table and get that sorted. So hopefully by the time I see you again, I'm at 1,000 subscribers and I can do a small giveaway, and fingers crossed I see you again in my next video. And if not, take care and have a good stitchy fortnight, and I shall see you soon. Bye.